One of my readers wrote in with a question about recording audience members at a concert or a fundraising event. Hi, I'm entertainment attorney Gordon Firemark, and this is Asked and Answered, where I answer your questions so you can take your career and business to the next level. So this reader wrote in to say, I purchased your podcast blog and New Media Producer's Legal Survival Guide a while back and found it to be an invaluable guide to copyright issues in my business. It's become my Bible in what to do and what not to do. But I've run across an issue in my community that I'm unsure of what the right thing to do is. A private local nonprofit that I'm associated with occasionally has concerts and speakers come in as part of the fundraising events. A local videographer has approached the organization offering to film these events at no charge to the organization if he can upload the programs to his business website. His website contains business banner ads from paid advertisers. He also sells DVD copies of these events to the public. That's how he's able to film these things at no charge. In exchange for the free filming and the ability to upload these events to his commercial website, he would then give the organization a free copy of the videotaping for their archive. Now, I understand that the videographer would need to obtain permission in writing from both the organization and the people in the band or presentation being filmed in order to upload their images to the website. But what about audience members whose likeness would also be uploaded to the website? Does the videographer also need to get their permission as well? This guy says that all the organization has to do is write on the ticket that the event is being videotaped, and that is enough notice to cover the audience member's right of publicity. Is this true? Are there any other legal liabilities the organization could incur if they decide to allow this to go forward? Well, this will depend mostly on principles of local state law, both concerning the right of publicity and the rights of contract, i.e., whether the printing on the ticket is going to form a binding release. But generally, the videographer is right. If the ticket includes a provision that says the event will be videotaped, then it's reasonable for audience members to expect that they too will be taped in an incidental way. And as long as their likeness is used only incidentally, like a reaction shot or something like that, I wouldn't think they'd have much of a claim. In fact, depending on the kind of venue involved, the audience members may not have any expectation of privacy whatsoever. But when the audience member becomes the subject or the focus of the film or video, things change and you could have a very different story. And likewise, if the image of the audience member is used in a commercial, like an advertising way, that is to advertise a product or a service, then that also could be a problem. But generally, in the body of content like this, it's not likely to be considered a commercial use for purposes of the right of publicity. What I do, though, is I always advise film and video crews to use a large poster or a sign at or near each entrance to any space where the cameras might be running. Essentially, this says, by entering here, you consent to be filmed and to the use of your appearance in any way. Now, if you or anybody else objects to being filmed in this way, then you need to tell the folks that run these things. You can vote with your dollars, of course, by not attending the events if you don't like what's happening. And if enough folks object, then the organization might revoke this permission. You could also wear something like a t-shirt that says, I do not consent to be filmed, or you could make a vulgar gesture every time the camera seems to be pointed in your direction. It makes it a lot harder for them to use that footage of you. More important, though, is that everyone seems to have overlooked the rights of the songwriters and the music publishers whose material is going to be recorded, at least when bands performed. It's going to be recorded, reproduced, and distributed. If you videotape a band performing music, the folks who wrote those songs are entitled to control how that material is used. Now, that's not necessarily going to be up to the band unless they're performing all original music and they haven't already signed with a publisher. You see, when you combine a musical composition with filmed footage, you need what's called a synchronization or a sync license. And while obtaining those licenses would probably be the videographer's problem, the organization could find itself drawn into some nasty seven-figure lawsuits if he doesn't do everything just by the book. So there are lots of pitfalls when filming or taping a performance or a speech or an event. Fortunately, dealing with the audience's rights and releases isn't usually a big one of them. If you like this Asked and Answered video series, I hope you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of them. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer, head on over to firemark.com/questions.